Welcome to another Void City Customs video. A few years back I did a video for dismantling McFarlane figures, and I do roughly the same thing with part swapping the Masterverse figures and I guess New Eternia. But Masters of the Universe, the larger scale, not the Origin stuff. But for a while I've been thinking about doing a video for that because Dan has had trouble trying to customize part swap with Jurassic figures, and I don't know if this will work for them. I've never actually laid hands on one of those figures, but at least for the Masterverse line there is a uniformity to the joints, to how the bodies are put together. And so I thought it might be worthwhile just going over this. I'm probably going to catch some hell in the comments, but this is what I do. If you have a better technique, please tell me. So, just with heat, you can take kind of a lot of this apart. So the boots, honestly, the feet as well, they come apart at the thighs. You can also get the hips off. Hands come off super easily. Those are intended to be swapped, and overlay pieces, these things tend to have a variety of overlays, so all of that stuff comes off easily as well. With heat, you can also pop apart at the bicep and obviously the head. Sometimes there are alternate heads, and you can, there's intentional head swaps. All of that, if you remove it, will get you a figure that looks roughly like this. So you can see the giant hip ball pegs down there. You still got some waist piece, but at this point you've got this torso, the abs, the pecs, and the shoulders that can't be taken apart with just heat. So at this point, what I do is I get an X-Acto knife. Please use one that isn't broken. And what I then do is I slip it into the armpit. So there's always this kind of gap in the ball peg there. I slip it in here. I go up from here, both sides, and also I come in down through the neck, so just along the seam line. And at that point, what you're trying to do, I'll show you on this one, is break through these 6 connection points. You see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the hardest one to get at, but going through the armpit will get you both of these two. Going down through the neck will get you all 3 of these. And once I cut through those, I tend to take a flathead, shove it down through the neck hole, and crack it apart. So once you get the pecs apart, you then have something that looks roughly like this, and you can do the same thing by going down through here. And the nice thing about this is all of this, once it is closed back up again, won't be seen. So you go through here, and then you can twist this. You can also get up through here, and then none of this will be seen. Same thing on the other side. You go up through here, and then you wind up with these abs, because there are 4 connection points in here. You don't want to go through that 5th one. So that you don't have to, but that is what will hold all of that together. And once you get through both the pecs and the abs, then you wind up with just a waist piece at that point. And you could take off whatever belt and hang down off. You could swap those. But I have a whole bin of just pieces of Masterverse figures, from parts I've stolen from one figure to give to another. The nice thing too is a bunch of the Masterverse figures have shoulder overlays, something like this. So if you wind up getting rowdy when you're going down through the neck across those shoulders with a blade, then you put an overlay on and it won't be seen again. But these will go back together. And at that point, you can use glue or magnets or screws or whatever you want. They will go back together. You just clamp this around, clamp that around, reattach this on there, and then you have whatever part swap that you want. You can also, at that point, get access to, I don't think I have one, but the shoulder ball peg as well. So you can swap those around as you see fit. But I've been doing this for a while. I don't honestly care that much about Masters of the Universe, but I like the swappability of the parts to make customs. I've been trying to work on some barbarian dudes, and I have some women. Most of this also works for women. I will say there was a change somewhat recently with the shoulders. So the newer Masterverse figures don't have a bicep swivel anymore. The older ones do, at least for the women. That kind of sucks. So I guess you would then have to crack the female torso to get at the entire arm at that point, which sucks. Yeah, that does suck. Anyway, so yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I have an entire bin of just pieces of Masterverse figures for whatever I am working on, but this is what I do. And I know that with some other lines, people, I think it's Marvel Legends, they'll drill a hole up through the bottom of the crotch and go at it that way, and that doesn't work. This is one that I tried early on, and it's once you get to this, there's no need to take it apart any further. I don't know how many connection points are in there. I never made it that far, but this is the root, I would say, and then everything else attaches to this. So going up through the bottom doesn't work, at least in my opinion. You still have to go through, I think, at the top, because there has to be some glue or pins or something holding this together. But this is where I stop, and then build back up on top of that. So this is what I do, at least for Masterverse. I don't know if this is the same technique that Mattel uses on their other toy lines, but if you know, please let me know, because I'm curious, and I know Dan is also curious about using some of the Mattel figures, especially. And this is getting ahead of ourselves. If Mattel winds up doing 6-inch scale for the DC license next year, who knows? I'm still hoping for a larger scale. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got. So hopefully somebody found this useful. If so, let me know. If not, you don't have to comment.